So here's my fall colors. We're all getting these 4 colors. The warm colors are usually what you think of when you think of fall colors, but I'm also including green because there's still a little bit of green around, and I think it's gonna give a little bit of contrast, which means it's just a little bit different than the warm colors. We have warm colored paper that you're all going to have too, so I think it's just nice to have a little bit of something different included in your colors too. So you probably can't see this very well, but this has a circle traced on it, just like the papers that you're going to get will also have a circle traced on it. And you're either gonna get a brush that has kind of a point to it or one that has a flat top to it. Either one is going to work. Whatever one you choose will work fine. I already did one example, my yellow example with the pointy brush, so I'll do this one with the flat brush. And this is when you get to make your color choices, because Alma Thomas, she was really well known for how she experimented with color and the different colors that she used together and how they would stand out on her background. So this is kind of an experiment too. We're all going to have a warm colored background, but we're all using these same colors to paint our design in her style. But I'm sure we're going to get some very different results in just the way we mix our colors and how many circles of the different colors we are putting together before we clean our brush. Things like that will make it look very different. So it doesn't matter what color you start with, but it does, I'm gonna start with green here, but it does matter that we start on the outside. We're making a circle design inspired by her circle paintings. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to, with your brush, whether it is the flat one or the pointy one, you are going to paint like a dashed line around the outside. And it's okay if you touch that line or if you paint it a little bit inside that line. It doesn't matter, but you are painting these little shapes, which it turns out to be a shape, whether it's like a rectangle shape from the flathead or more of kind of an oval shape from the pointed brush. Once you paint just a line with your brush, you're making a shape because it's thick. You want to try to keep them consistent. It's okay if some are a little bit bigger, some are touching the line, some might be off the line, but you want to make them as consistent as possible. And you can see here that I'm not trying to angle my brush all the way around. This is way easier if you just simply turn, hoping you can see that here, that you just turn your paper. So you're painting in the same direction, the same angle that's comfortable for you. It goes faster. You're just turning your paper. Okay, once you get all the way around, you can decide that maybe you want to use another layer of the same color. So I could do this same color. There we go. I could do this same color on the inside, and I know that it's gonna be hard. You need to try not to put your hand in the wet paint. I've tried it both ways, where you start in the middle and work your way out. This just seems to work a little bit better. I might change my mind on that. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna show you this way. Okay, so we don't have any water. You have a paper towel. These are very similar colors except for the green, but still even mixing that with the others will be okay. If a little bit of brown happens to mix, because red and green, they're complementary colors, opposite on the color wheel. If you mix them together, it makes brown. We're gonna wipe it off really well, but if it does happen to mix, it's okay because brown is kind of a fall color too. These are sort of fall pieces, so that's okay. I'm gonna wipe my brush a little bit here, and I think I'm going to go with yellow next. And I actually we can mix colors here. I think I'm gonna make it more of a yellowy green color. When you mix color, you don't want to mix all of your paint color, because I still want that regular yellow, and I might want my yellow to mix with my orange a little bit. So don't mix the whole thing. If you run out of this color before you get all the way around, then it's all right. Just mix some more as close as you can get to the color, but if it's not exact, it's okay. All right, so I'm going to go right next to that, and I'm kind of holding my brush. Not, my wrist isn't getting too close to that wet paint, so that's good. You can paint a few and then turn it. You don't have to turn it, paint it, turn it, paint it. And it's not a race. And I'm already starting to run out of paint, but that's okay. I'm just gonna kind of mix it as I go. I can kind of see the color underneath that I already made, so it's not too difficult to mix a color that's close to it. Again, you want to keep these little shapes that you're painting by just painting lines pretty close together. If they happen to touch once in a while, it's okay, but we're trying not to have them touch. All right, so again, I could paint the same color again or switch colors, but I'm just using my paper towel, no water, to change colors. All right, now I'm getting toward the end, and you can see it's not a perfect circle anymore, and it's okay, it doesn't need to be, don't worry about that. I did, I think, 2 layers of the green before I mixed a little bit. You can see I'm mixing a lot of colors here, which is kind of fun to experiment with new colors. Remember, when you mix colors, don't use the whole little dab of that color. You want to just like take half of it, or not even half of it when you mix it, because you want the regular color too, if you want to just use it straight. So what's fun about the fall colors is that at one point you're going to be using the same color as you have for your background, and it's going to kind of disappear. So that's sort of where I'm at right now, and I am getting closer to the middle. So I'm just gonna, and I actually only wiped my brush off one time the whole time I was painting these. And you can see some of them mixing together a little bit, but it works pretty well just to kind of wipe your plate or your paper towel, and you don't have to clean your brush that well. So I'm just gonna go, I made kind of a yellow orange for this last little layer. Now I'm just gonna go straight orange, and that's gonna probably disappear into my paper a little bit more than it did before. Again, I'm turning my paper, and I have this dries pretty fast, but my hand isn't dragging through it either. Still, those little tiny lines that I'm painting, it's just a line that I'm painting. That's it. That's making a little shape. A few times when I've got to the end, it's like a weird space. Either I have to make a really long one to fill it, or I have to make a short one. And I'm sure you'll kind of run into that too. And again, if it touches a little bit, not a big deal. All right, I have a few colors left. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of red to my orange here, and then I'm gonna end on red. I'm just gonna make this a little bit darker. When we're mixing colors, I'm pretty sure we talked about this before with your grade, but you always need more of the lighter color, less of the darker color. So if I wanted, for instance, to mix a mix of orange, I would use way more yellow with just a little bit of red. If I used equal parts red and yellow, it would be like a real dark orange, almost red looking color. You always want to use less of the darker color, more of the lighter color. So I'm getting really close here, and it's hard to keep these little dots, little lines, little shapes from touching, and it's okay if they do, like I said. All right, I just have a tiny little bit for red. See, I didn't even wipe off my brush, just kind of wiped it on my plate. Just gonna end with a little tiny mark in the middle. All right, and that's it.